Good morning and welcome to Wake Up to Broke Road with Mark, episode number 26 for 2025. Yep, means the year is halfway over. It's the end of June, almost 4th of July. Here it comes any minute with fireworks. And here's some fireworks. Advertising round two. You know, this is going to be a summer project, I can tell, because every time I go on social media, regardless of whether it's Instagram or Facebook or any place else, all I see is potential bad behavior. So many of you, for all the right reasons, are doing things all the wrong ways. Not sure why, except I think you probably have seen other people do it, and maybe you're just not aware of the rules, and maybe it never occurred to you that all advertising is just that, advertising. So if you're not doing a flyer and you post it on social media, you can just do it however you want to. But unfortunately, the Georgia Real Estate Commission doesn't agree with that, right? And what happens when you share something, so for instance, your buddy's listing and you share it from your Facebook page to something else, when it comes up to share, you have the ability to write something in that block, like listing provided by X company, listed by person so and so. Before you share all that information, you'll hashtag it to death. You'll write a description of the property. You'll do everything except say who's the listing. Whose listing is it? Not sure why. It doesn't take you any more time to do that. There's the police now. They're coming to get me for talking about Greg stuff. You can probably hear them in the background. They sound angry. Actually, there's no Greg police, but that was the police passing by. But here is the easy, simple Georgia Real Estate Commission advertising rules. And I'm going to attach it to the email when this goes out. And I'm also going to post it on Rocks when I post the video. Of course, you'll see all that simultaneously because by the time you see this, it'll already be there. But here's what it says. Advertising rules for real estate. To identify requirements, begin with rules for all advertising and build by adding advertising a specific property and advertising licensee owned property if applicable. All advertising, one, is not misleading. In other words, if it ain't your listing and you're not giving credit to the listing brokerage and the listing agent, it's misleading. Two, does not discriminate. Be careful with the wording you use to describe it. You cannot discriminate. Three, is in the name of the broker, meaning that all advertising is Atlanta Communities advertising. Is reviewed and approved by the broker. Now, of course, that is not feasible, but that's why we have templates and other methods for you to be able to share listing information to the general public and do it and be in compliance. Advertising a specific property. 5, must have owner's permission. Notice it doesn't say sellers, nor does it say listing agent. It says 5, must have owner's permission. 6, broker's name equal or greater in size, frequency, or prominence than the agent's, which means that if you mention your name, you also have to mention Atlanta Communities either through the logo or some other way to identify not only you as the individual, but the brokerage by name. It's not being done. That doesn't mean your team name or what you like to call yourself, fancy pantsy real estate person. Doesn't mean that. It means the brokerage name. 6, broker's name equal, I think I just did that one. 7, broker's telephone number equal or greater in size, frequency, or prominence than agents. Meaning that if you put your name, Atlanta Communities, and then your cell phone number, you are not in compliance. Let me say that again. If you put your name, Atlanta Communities, and then your cell phone number, you're not in compliance. So anytime you put your cell phone number, the office number of some sort, whether it's 770-240-2000 or 770-240-200, whatever, based on your office, That has to be on there too. So you can't have your cell phone number and not an office number. You can eliminate both of them, but you can't have one without having the other. You can put the brokerage name and the brokerage phone number, but you can't just put your name without the brokerage name. See what I'm doing there? This is all about specific property. Advertising a licensee owned property, written notification to the broker, number 8. 9, broker's written consent and approval. And 10, includes appropriate licensure disclosure. Whew. We have a lot to learn. It's still being done and done wrong. I look at your open houses, and it has your name and your cell phone number and no other information as it relates to the brokerage. It's kind of casual, especially on social media, where, you know what, the audience is big. And equally as important, it's easy to see that if you're out there on social media, and it's easy to screenshot it. I am not encouraging you to go out and start policing other people. Start with yourself first. If you're doing it right, we can get all this cleaned up industry-wide because you will have done it right. All you can control is you, not everybody else. Don't start ratting people out. Don't start telling me that so-and-so's doing it here, all that. I get all that. We just need to be better. Now, this coming weekend is 4th of July weekend. Happy 4th of July. There'll be lots of fireworks. Hopefully there won't be any from Greg. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.